So of course we got some housekeeping here to do behind the scenes, trying to get things in order. But we're definitely going to talk about Kevin Samuels and the mindset that a lot of folks have, and I don't understand really the confusion, because there's some confusion out here, right? And you're going to have men and women on both sides of this debate. Just tuning in, your man Diamond K in here, of course. The DiamondKShow.com, onfire-tv.com. So I'm trying to get this. This thing is not working here. Not sure what is going on with that. So we're trying to get Instagram popping, and Instagram is doing something crazy. So let's do this. Let's get the other one going. All right. So while we work behind the scenes to get the Instagram feed going, many people know, of course, Kevin Samuels, the controversial YouTuber that recently passed away last week. I believe it was on Cinco de Mayo, passing away. And, what I noticed is there has not been a whole lot of, I don't know, like, how you show mercy to somebody that's passed away? Like, they have been dumping on him in death, right? You got a lot of people that's kind of like a that's what he gets kind of vibe. Like, they have no mercy for him. And, I don't know if he's done things to the point where no respect is given to him. But that is exactly what has happened. And that's fine. And whether or not you agree with or disagree with his philosophy on things, I think that's neither here nor there. All right, I think that's neither here nor there. So you have somebody that passed away, and I guess a certain amount of respect you give to the family, respect that you give to friends, etc. But that was not given to Kevin Samuels. Definitely not. And why? Right? I think he's an entertainer, or was an entertainer first and foremost. I think he was an entertainer. But some people took the things that he said very personally, and I think that he probably meant it to be taken personally. But he was a polarizing figure, YouTube personality. But at the same time, we have folks talking about bullying all the time. Bullying. You hear folks talking about bullying. Are people bullying Kevin Samuels? Like, the fact that no mercy is being shown to this man, who is dead, controversial he is. He fashioned himself as a relationship guru, right? It fashioned himself as that. Made famous, infamous for dishing out controversial dating advice, mainly on YouTube. So the things that he was saying and the way that he said it is what has a lot of folks up in arms. Have I watched every single show that he's done? No, I have not. But I saw enough of his material to be able to gain a good working knowledge of what he represents. And, some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. I definitely did not agree with the delivery, right? I didn't agree with the delivery, but at the same time, I wasn't the one calling in on the show, right? Why am I saying that? I'm gonna get to that in a second. Okay. Just tuning in as you made Dominic K in here, of course, the Dominic K Show.com, onfire-tv.com. I am here. Normally, I am here at 6 p.m., but as you know, I have been MIA, not in the MIA, but MIA for a little while. So we are just coming back, and I'm definitely at a time different than I normally do. So in my hiatus, Kevin Samuels passed away. And so a lot of folks have a lot of things to say. A lot of folks talking crazy. Now, here's the thing. The majority of the people that listened to Kevin Samuels, we're talking about women. Oh, and women are mad. Like, women, how dare he say this? How dare he say that? And, I think that while he was a controversial star, 56 years old, he gave relationship advice, but it's not like you didn't know what you were going to get. It's not like when these women called his show that they did not know the type of advice that he was going to bestow upon them. There was no surprises there. They knew this. They knew what was coming. They knew the type of energy that he had. Controversial, yes, he was. So his mother confirmed the death on Friday. She said that she found out of his passing on social media. How bad is that? Said she found out via social media. Report came from the Atlanta Police Department stating that a woman called 911 early Thursday for Samuels after he complained of chest pain and collapsed in his apartment in Atlanta. So by the time the police arrived, firefighters had found Samuels unconscious on the floor of his home on East Pace Road in Northeast. They attempted CPR. The ambulance later brought Samuels to Piedmont Hospital. Piedmont, know the area very well. I lived not far from there. Not far from there. He is a self-described image consultant. So it was heavily watched on YouTube, social media, Instagram, all of that good stuff. Polarizing opinions. He would tell ladies things that preference. We're talking about preference. So a lot of times he would talk about the size of women. This woman's big. You're too big. You're too, old. You don't make any money. You got kids. Da 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 da. He would say all these things, and women would say different stuff. Oh, I feel about this. I feel this way. I feel that way. And, that would cause a controversy. But as I said earlier, these women knew what they were going to get. They knew, as I said, he had a pretty large social media presence, so they knew what they were going to get from him. So they call in. They know what they're going to get. It's like Ayanna Van Zant, that was her name? You know how she had that kind of energy. You remember she's barking at DMX, right? You know what you're going to get with Kevin Samuels, or what you were going to get. His advice, Kevin Samuels' advice on love, on lifestyle, was not for everybody. Received a lot of criticism. The way that he talked to and about black women, about dating. He popularized the phrase of men, he tried to uplift men, I think, right? But you didn't have to do it at the expense of women. Some people think, some people say, and I get it. Shout out to what is that? Faye 187 Proof. Thank you for the donation. So We're talking about Kevin Samuels, and so this mindset. So there's a mindset that he has been pushing and had been pushing. So sparked outrage. Black women upset. And I understand why they might be. They are the fan base, right? So it's like a hate to love kind of thing. He said these things, Kevin Samuel said these things, yet women still tuned in, called in, all of that. And men did as well. High value men. That's one of the things that he was championing, a high value man. Now that in its face, there's nothing wrong with saying, you're a high value man. In his last video posted to Instagram, he titled it, "Modern Women Are a Party of One?" ? Samuels was critical of a college-educated woman who chose not to settle in relationships. A lot of black women are in that space. A lot of women in general in that space where they don't want to settle. They have certain standards that they want the guy to be at. And after they reach a certain point in their life, in their careers, with their family, they want a guy who is meeting them where they are or higher. I don't see any problem with that. I don't see any problem with a guy doing the same thing, right? Now, Kevin Samuels' way of delivering this message, ruffle some feathers is an understatement. Ruffle some feathers is an understatement. So the influencer, he sparked some outrage among some people last month after stating in one of his YouTube clips, one of his videos, that unmarried women 35 and over were leftover women. Oh, yeah, he was brutal. He was brutal. Leftover women. I mean, come on. Right? But why are so many modern women holding out? What are you holding out for? He asked in the video. Oh, yes. He didn't cut any cards. And, whatever it is, ladies, it ain't working. And the net result of it is you become a party of one. Wow. Now, is he right? I think that there is some truth in what he's saying. Now, the delivery piss poor. There's another way that you could do it. Because at the end of the day, he may look at it like the shock value has people tuning in. If the shock value did not have people tuning in, he would have changed the tune. But the shock value is what was working for him. Him saying shocking things is what was working for him. Twice divorced. So maybe he had some experience as to what not to do. What not to do. In February, Kevin Samuels sat down for a fake therapy session with Future in the music video for his song Worst Day. In it, Samuels talks to Future about his addiction to spoiling women he dates with lavish gifts. I mean, he's the perfect person for that. Both from Atlanta, right? So Kevin Samuels got his start in public relations. Before launching his YouTube channel, he worked in public relations as an image consulting and recommended fragrances and shoes for men to, here it is, attract women, right? He started giving out relationship advice via his YouTube channel back in 2015. So he gives relationship advice. I mean, is he different than some of these other? When you compare him to, say, somebody like Derek Jackson, who I think panders to women, right? He panders to women, Derek Jackson, and tries to portray himself as a model citizen, and then he gets caught doing crazy stuff, and that damages credibility. So then we have Kevin Samuels, who, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he portrayed himself as some type of an angel. The exact cause of his death still unknown. I'm sure it's going to come out eventually, right? Rumors about his death began circulating Thursday night. His mother confirmed on Friday that he had indeed died. Atlanta Police Department records state that he experienced chest pain before he was taken to Piedmont Hospital in the ambulance. Cause of death remains unclear. So we're talking about the mindset, right? So what he has put out there that, I don't know, women should be a certain size. And after a certain age, if they're not settled down, then something else is wrong with them. That's the energy that he's put out there. That's what he's put out there. And I do believe that there are some men who have soaked up that information and are going to take that further. That is a problem. That is a problem. So yes, men and women, we are totally different. We have a different way of looking at the same exact thing. And we're not supposed to be the same. We are supposed to be different. Opposites attract, right? Opposites attract. And that in itself is good. That in itself is good. The differences, right? But if we have a generation, excuse me, if we have a generation of men, hang on there. A generation of men that are going to come up and start utilizing this warped mindset, we're going to have a whole lot of problems, a whole lot more problems than we already have. Kevin Samuels was an entertainer. He got off and got his views on being controversial. He went out of his way on purpose to say wild things. Now, sometimes he says some things that were good, that needed to be said. And he didn't only dump on women. He just mostly dumped on women. But he dumped on men as well. He dumped on men as well. So we had this nurse, 32 years old, who spent the night with Kevin Samuels. She made this frantic 911 call and allegedly performed CPR before he died after suffering chest pains. So she seems like she was of Spanish descent, right? She frantically begged the dispatchers to send an ambulance to the Buckhead, Atlanta residence where she spent the night with Kevin Samuels. The nurse would later tell first responders that he'd fallen on top of her and became blue after experiencing chest pains. That's what she said. Now, I mean, I don't know why anybody isn't looking at her like, what did you do something to this man? I mean, I don't know. It's something you got to think about, right? Something you got to think about. Come on, Kevin, you got this. Just try to breathe. Come on. Think about your mom. Think about your daughter, the woman said between crying. Before help arrived, she pleaded with Samuels to gain consciousness and gave him CPR until an EMS took over, trying and failing to save Kevin Samuels. So, did she care about him? It appears that way. I mean, I guess, Paramedics gave CPR to him. He was unresponsive on the floor of the apartment, transferred, as I said, to Piedmont Hospital, where he later died. Spent the last moments of his life with a nurse who desperately tried to save him. She's 32 years old. 32 years old, and she said he was not awake. He has no regular rhythm. I can't feel it. He is breathing in and out, but has no regular rhythm. Ironic that a nurse was there and this nurse could not save him. Happens. So he fell on top of her. It's interesting. Fell on top of her. And, so he's found inside of an apartment in Buckhead. I need to call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it. If they have one, I need to get it right now, she said. Call the front desk so they can get me the AED now. He is turning blue. So she attempted to save him, and the call is what you expected. It's frantic. There's a lot. But there was it's unfortunate that his mother had to find out via social media. It is unfortunate. That is the day and time that we live in. So, I had a couple of questions. So when the news first broke, I didn't know whether it was true or not. And however, I was able to look at some reputable sources, saw that it was confirmed, then double confirmed, and then everybody was reporting it. So I saw that. And as I looked through some of the comments and I was talking to some folks, I noticed how disrespectful ladies were about this. Oh yeah, they didn't show him any mercy, and they said that they weren't showing him any mercy because of the way that he was when he was alive. So because he talked so crazy, they felt that justified not showing this man, the father, son, any respect. The mother, as I said, his mom did not find out from anybody that she knew. She found out on social media. Crazy. Samuels claimed in a video last week that the Chinese government formally designated women over 27 who were unmarried as leftovers, and 35 was the American equivalent. Oh yeah, he was a savage in every sense of the word. If you have made it to 35 and you are unmarried, you are a leftover woman, he said. You are what is left. Men know that there is likely something wrong with you. Wow. All right, yeah. So I don't agree with what he's saying, but I think that sometimes speaking like this and this kind of mindset gives some guys, weaker guys, an excuse. It gives them an excuse to A, be disrespectful, and B, it gives them this false sense of entitlement. Like, you know what I mean? A false sense of they can just carry it however they want. And you can to a certain degree. You got men that screwed up. We got women that screwed up. Some women don't want to be married. Some men don't want to be married. Samuels, his estimated worth was about $4 million. Estimated worth, right? All right. So, women, I asked somebody earlier today, right? Why so many successful women are single. Yeah, I mean, that's something that we see out there. Successful women that are single. And why is that? I mean, it's not because of anything Kevin Samuels said, but why is that? That's because they are looking for a guy at a certain level. They want the guy to have achieved a certain amount of things. And if the guy has not achieved a certain amount of things or not reached a certain threshold, they not checking for him. And in many instances, they'd rather be single than, quote unquote, settle. I can respect that. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to find somebody right away. And it depends on where you're looking at. And then obviously, the high value man thing that Kevin Samuels pushed, I think that's a real thing. But you also have a high value woman. You ever met or seen a woman and you like, guys, and we looking at her and we're saying, she might be, out of my league. Her swag might be somewhere that yours is not, or she appears to be used to a certain level of living that you might not be at a point that you can provide for her. So you might think she's out of your league. All right. It's a high value woman. Or a superficially speaking, because you don't know anything else about her other than what you see. Right. So we have this very popular, very controversial YouTube star, and a lot of impressionable folks look at these videos, right? And then this mindset is getting passed on. So now that the guy's gone, is this mindset going to continue, or is it just going to stop with him? I think that it is going to continue to a certain extent. I think that it's going to continue to a certain extent. Samuel said that not all women can have men and suggested that women share them. Oh yeah, he was savage. he definitely was a savage. He angered many viewers because he rated women based on their appearance and dress size. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, he did it. I don't agree with him rating the women in that way. I have seen thick women, what you call BBW women, who are beautiful, right? And just being thick doesn't make you unattractive, and being slim doesn't make you attractive to me. But there's somebody for everybody, and everybody's attractive to somebody. I don't know how much or how often he said that. Right? He rated singer Sweetie an adjustable 6. Oh, yeah. This nigga was crazy. She way higher than a 6. But that's him, and that's his opinion, right? He's entitled to his opinion. But I don't like mean-spirited stuff. I don't like purposely trying to put folks down. But at the same time, he's an entertainer, and you know what you're going to get when you call his show. That's like going on the Breakfast Club and you acting surprised at the way Charlemagne acts when you already know what he's going to do. Or Wendy Williams, back when she had a show. You knew what she was going to do. You knew what you were going to get. You knew what the brand was. So acting surprised, acting shocked, clutching your pearls. It's not being honest. But he did make a decent career, a decent amount of money, made his living off of shamelessly disgracing black women for profit. Not respectable there. Not respectable there. So I understand why some women are angry at him or feel like it's karma, right? But he was unmarried when he died, right? He didn't have a lot of words. He didn't have as many negative things to say about men in the same circumstance as women that he put down. Definitely a chauvinist. Definitely. An image consultant. That's what he said. He offered services exclusively to men who want to upgrade their appearance. His services included shopping, grooming, and helping great guys look and feel their best. That's what it said on his website. Family got the confirmation about his death. The funeral potentially is going to be in Oklahoma City, potentially. Yep. So that's interesting. Oklahoma City. Yeah. So ladies, for the most part, are not shedding any tears for homie. Not shedding a lot of tears at all. But I'm concerned about this mindset. I'm concerned about men, us taking this thought process, this negative energy that he put out there, and trying to continue it. There's no leftover women. There's no leftover women. Like, what is he talking about, right? I just don't want people to take this entertainment stuff too serious. They got to stop with that. We have to stop that. He did a lot of bashing of black women. So, there's a couple of clips that's floating around that says, he wanted to put families together, or there's this one clip that he talks about, Kevin Samuels talked about, I put this family together. This woman, wrote me and said, I'm so thankful that you got me in your advice, or, whatever. Right. There were black women that said that he helped them. Many black men have been scarred by their parents, mothers, said that he helped them. And you can say what you want. For most black women, what does black love mean? Does black love mean sacrificing the man? For a woman, does black love to her mean that the man has to sacrifice their self-esteem, sacrifice their humanity for the black woman? And if he does not do that, then that's not black love. I've heard that before. What is black love? If the relationship is not going the way that the woman wants it to go, then it's not black love. Then it's not relationship goals. There's a way that you can have these difficult conversations. There's a way that you can critique women and do that without tearing them down. Now, Kevin Samuels, he did things his way, right? He did things the way that he wanted to do them. And hey, Candace, how's it going? He did things the way that he wanted to do them. But I'm just concerned with folks picking up this mantle, picking up this negative energy, this Kevin Samuel mindset, and continuing to run with it. Just tuning in, it's your man Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show.com, onfire-tv.com. And shout out to my folks on IG. We got IG popping. Also, the website, the app, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that. So, did Kevin Samuels help or did he hurt? Any women that he helped, I'd like to see. I mean, I see people saying he helped this woman, he helped that. Show me who he helped. Who did he help? Who did he help? I mean, that's just an opinion, right? That is just an opinion. I saw folks. I was in the store getting some glasses, and I was talking to the lady that helped me, and she was saying like good riddance to him, like she's glad that he's gone, right? So the traditional roles in men and women, do they even exist anymore? Men don't have any interest in competing with women. A man does not want to compete with a woman, his woman that he's with. I think that it is also negative and unfortunate that some women, I've seen some women celebrating that this man has passed on. That's not healthy. We talking about him for the crazy stuff that he's been saying, but celebrating somebody's death, that ain't right. That ain't right. Right. But I don't like anybody teaching someone to put down, compete with, tear down a black woman. A woman in general, but especially a black woman. What are we doing? Right? We already have enough problems already. Used to be a time when kids was off limits. Old ladies was off limits. Ladies was off limits. That whole mindset gone. And then you have this entertainer putting this out there. Now he's gone on. Didn't have a chance to correct some of the stuff that he said. Didn't have a chance to take back some of the stuff that he said. It's just out there. And these impressionable ones, the ones who may not know any better, the ones who may not have a father or someone positive to talk to, that looks online and sees stuff online, and they're going to take that, run it, and run with that. Some people will miss Kevin Samuels. Some will not. It's going to be the same when all of us go on. It's going to be people that miss you. Death is a part of life. Definitely need to make peace with your creator. I did not agree with his advice. I did not agree with his disrespect for women. But I'm sure that the woman who's going to be hurting the most, his mother, black woman, does that mean she's a leftover woman? Many people are going to mourn him. They are. But, we build and we destroy. We build and we destroy. Very interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Dom K Show, of course, on fire-tv.com. Over the weekend, the Kentucky Derby. So I dated someone from Kentucky when I was living in Atlanta, or had been born in Kentucky. The Kentucky Derby never was a thing for me. You know what I mean? Growing up in Baltimore, it just wasn't a thing. And I know we have the Preakness here in Baltimore, but the Kentucky Derby, horse riding, was never a thing for me. I did happen to catch this race, though, over the weekend in Kentucky Derby. An 80-1 long shot wins the Kentucky Derby. Rich Strike. Right? Astounding upset victory. It was amazing to see. This horse wasn't even supposed to be in the race. I think like a couple seconds before the end of the deadline for entering, they put the horse in. And then this horse turns out and wins. Right? So over $1 million they win. And, so maybe he's going to come to the Preakness. I don't know. But that was an amazing thing. Because here's nobody likes the favorite. All right. You like the underdog. Everybody likes the underdog. Right? Friday morning, Rich Strike wasn't entered into the Kentucky Derby. Saturday evening, this 80-1 long shot was the Derby champion. So this was the 148th Kentucky Derby. And we posted, videos of some celebrities there. And it was the greatest victory the greatest odds upset since 1913 when a 91-1 long shot got the victory. So that storyline, very interesting. When you have an upset like that, now if it's the same old, or the pick that everybody else thought was going to win, and when that's the case, then not so exciting. Also in the news, there's been this fugitive. There was this manhunt for this inmate who escaped, and the officer, the ex-jail officer, that it, to me, was very obvious that she was helping him out. So he's been captured. She is dead. Former Alabama jail official who went on the run with a murder suspect she was accused of helping escape shot herself today. Authorities caught up with the pair after more than a week of searching. The man, she fled with, he surrendered. He said, I'm not killing myself. Maybe he's going to blame it all on her. The death of Vicky White, 56 years old, only deepened the mystery of why a respected jail official would leave everything, her career and everything, to help free Casey White, a 38-year-old inmate with a very violent and frightening history. Why did she do it? 2 fugitives were caught following this manhunt through 3 states. 3 states. They were caught in Indiana when the U.S. Marshals chasing them crashed into their vehicle. Casey White gave himself up, and Vicky shot herself and was taken to the hospital, and she later died from her injuries. Yeah, so the authorities celebrated, said that we got a dangerous man off the street today. He is never going to see the light of day again. That's a good thing, not just for our community. That's a good thing for the country, they said. The manhunt, if you remember, began back April 29th when Vicky, who was the assistant director of corrections for the jail, allegedly helped engineer the escape. So this guy, Casey, was waiting for a trial in a capital murder case, and she helps him out. Vicky told coworkers that she was taking the inmate from jail for a mental health evaluation at the courthouse, but the two, who are not related but have the same last name, fled the area instead. The car that they took off in was later found abandoned in Tennessee. There was no trace of the pair until the marshals received a tip Sunday that surveillance photos from a car wash showed a man who closely resembled Casey White exiting a 2006 Ford F-150 pickup. Okay, White is 6'9", weighs about 260 pounds. On Monday, officials learned that the pair was spotted near the sheriff's office in Indiana. As officers arrived, the two fled in a vehicle. It was a police chase. U.S. Marshals crashed into their vehicle, trying to end the pursuit. Casey White was injured, not too seriously in the crash. Vicky White then shot herself, causing those serious injuries, and ends up dying. Obviously, we're lucky that no law enforcement was injured. No innocent civilians were injured, and the pursuit was short. They got both folks in custody. Casey White was serving a 75-year prison sentence for attempted murder and other charges at the time of his escape. He was awaiting trial in the stabbing of a 58-year-old woman during a burglary in 2015. So if convicted, he could face the death penalty. So the federal and local law enforcement officials have also learned that Casey White threatened to kill his former girlfriend and his sister in 2015 and said that he wanted the police to kill him. Warrant issued on May the 2nd for Vicky Sue White, charging her with permitting and facilitating escape in the first degree. She was going to be in big trouble. So that's why she killed herself. Co-workers and family members, of course, they're stunned. They were stunned. What? Not our Vicky. Yeah, your Vicky. She did it. They said that she had been an exemplary employee, but in hindsight, it appeared the plan had been in the works for some time. Oh, yeah, the plan had been in the works. Because clearly he was hitting that. He was clearly hitting that. She gave him better treatment than the others. I'm sure you can say that again. In the past months, she bought a rifle and a shotgun, was also known to have a handgun. She sold her house for about half of the market value, bought a 2007 orange Ford Edge that she stashed at a shopping center, didn't have license plates on it. Oh, yeah, she was planning this thing out. She'd been planning this thing out for a minute. Told co-workers that Casey White had a mental health evaluation at the courthouse. Oh, yeah, none was scheduled. None was scheduled. She did not have a second officer accompany them, which is against jail policy, obviously. But I'm glad nobody went with her, because they went with her, they probably would have killed that person. Thankfully. So they have on video. They went to a shopping center where they picked up the Ford, left. Their flight was not discovered for much of the day. Investigators believe that the pickup truck Casey White had at the car wash was stolen in Tennessee and then driven about 175 miles where it was in Evansville. They could not go too much further because they're still, investigating and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, this is something from a movie, right? This is literally something that you would see in a movie, like something on Netflix or something. But this is these folks' life. This lady threw her life away for this inmate. Does not make a whole lot of sense to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Dom and K Show. Of course, on fire-tv.com. So last thing I want to talk about, and that is this leak, this Supreme Court leak, right? And what's so funny about it is that abortion, turning over Roe versus Wade, is something that Republicans have been trying to do for 50 years. 50 years they've been trying to do this. But national Republicans are trying to focus on the leak, but not focus on the actual potential outlawing of abortion. All right. So we have this draft opinion that's dated back in February come out. Something that has been worked on, well written, researched, a lot of paperwork. And it appears that the hard work of the Republicans is finally going to come to pass. So you have the dog finally catching the car it's been chasing. And Republicans don't even know what to do. They're so excited, they don't even know what to do. Right? They don't even know what to do. According to Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, this abortion ban nationwide is something that could actually happen. He wants to be the Senate Majority Leader, right? But what's so crazy about this is I think that because a lot of things right now do not motivate Democrats, Republicans are thinking nothing's going to motivate him because Joe Biden is the head of the party. Joe Biden is not motivating anybody, right? Joe Biden is doing Jimmy Carter-like debacle. So they're saying, we got this in the bag. But then, boom, here comes this abortion thing. And I think that a lot of folks have not been engaged or excited by the abortion debate because it's something that they've lived with all their life, that they didn't think was going to go anywhere. And now it has the possibility, the chance to go away. It has the chance to be criminalized. It has the chance for doctors to go to jail, for women to be fined money. And it's finally here that women may not have control over their bodies. Oh, that's going to get Democrats excited. There's some Republicans that are not going to like this. But that is where we are. That is where we are. Democrats need to get serious and get their heads in the game. Democrats will have to use this draft Supreme Court opinion that could overturn Roe versus Wade, aka abortion rights. They're going to have to use that to reignite their voters. Because as I said, Joe Biden ain't going to be able to reignite nothing. Joe Biden is like a wet match. He ain't reigniting nothing. Okay? In order to win back the House and possibly take the Senate, on the other hand, Republican candidates have to de-emphasize the abortion issue, even though it's so important to them. They have to, if you're talking about Republicans, have to stay focused, or as focused as possible, on concerns about the economy and blaming the Biden administration for the potential downturn. So that is what both sides have to do. Democrats have to ignite the base, get them excited and wanting to elect more Democrats. And Republicans have to kind of downplay everything. And I think that both are going to do that. And it's going to come down to who does it more effectively. You normally hear Donald Trump taking credit for everything. He didn't take no credit for this abortion debacle. You notice that? He didn't do that. Now, you can understand why Republicans might not want to have the discussions about total near ban or near total bans on abortion, because I mean there's a lot negative about this. It is not acceptable to force girls who are victims of incest or rape to carry the children to term. But that's what Republicans want to happen for the most part. That's what they want to happen. So you have these, what are called trigger laws. So once the Supreme Court puts his opinion out there, whatever the actual ruling is going to be, you have some states that have trigger laws that are going to automatically outlaw abortion at that point. Is a nationwide ban actually possible? Yes. Yes, it is actually possible to have a nationwide ban on abortion. Now, the ruling, it's not out yet. Republicans have often had this let the states decide, but you could get a nationwide ban. And I don't know how you look at it, but the filibuster stands in the way of Republicans and Democrats as it relates to abortion. The filibuster is what is holding this whole thing together. So Republicans would have to, you could probably rule out the fact of any Republicans ending the filibuster. Now, the custom of the filibuster of allowing a Senate minority to block most legislation, that's the only way this is going to happen. So the filibuster, is it time for the filibuster to go? It seems like every time Democrats don't get something that they want, they say it's time for the filibuster to go. I think it is time for the filibuster to go. The American people want to see things get done. And even if something gets done that they don't want, the majority doesn't want, at least something is happening. Right now, it feels like nothing happens because of these weird rules that they have. You need you got the majority. Well, you need a super double, triple majority in order to get this happen. I mean, it just, something doesn't make sense. It doesn't happen like this in real life. And we elect these people, you send them to Washington, and then they just play this weird tug of war that they don't actually move anything. Really weird. It's like musical chairs, but nobody sits down. You just keep walking around. Many Democrats would be happy to end the filibuster to protect women's rights, but they lack the votes that they need to do it. There's been all this talk about Democrats having the majority. They don't really have the majority because they can't really get anything done. Even if Republicans won the House and the Senate in November and changed the rules to ban abortion next year, they'd be looking at 2 more years of Joe Biden as president, and he would not sign a nationwide abortion ban. And then Democrats could use that to run, the presidential election in 2024. So you have a lot of things that are there. Republicans, Democrats. You have Collins and Murkowski just sitting there confused. Like, what? And they talked all this trash about these Supreme Court justices who clearly lie. If they had somebody in their courtroom lying the way that they lied, trying to get through their nomination process, they would try to send them to jail. They tried to send him to jail. But these chief justices lied and talked about how Roe versus Wade, these abortion rights are settled law. Settled law. Like, that's what it is. No, now they're trying to find a way to take these rights away from women. Disgusting, I say. Disgusting. So what can Democrats do? A bipartisan vote in favor of protecting abortion rights could send the message that it is a minority of the country's lawmakers standing in the way of something that most Americans support. I think that is the direction that they're trying to go in. That is the direction. Democrats are choosing to vote on a bill that may not even get the vote of every Democrat, because Joe Manchin, of course, in West Virginia, he opposes that. If it's anything that Joe Biden and the Democrats want to get done, Joe Manchin is going to oppose it. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just what he does. Every time you turn around. If either side is expecting a quick movement on Capitol Hill where a minority can stop any legislation, that side is going to be disappointed. This is not going away anytime soon. Protesting around the country in favor of abortion rights is something that we're going to continue to see. We're in the midst of, primaries. And this question of abortion is weighing heavy on folks. It's weighing heavy on folks. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, TheDiamondKShow.com, onfire-tv.com. Your man, Diamond K. I will be back here tomorrow. And then also, I'm going to be here. We're going to be launching several new shows. I'm going to be putting, some more details out there about that. But I will be returning in the mix on tomorrow. And new mixes are going to be dropping daily. YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. Of course, check me out anywhere you get your podcast. Search The Diamond K Show. And anywhere you get music, search Diamond K. And as I said, I will be back here tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this Kevin Samuels debate is going to continue, and this Kevin Samuels mindset, hopefully it will not continue. We're going to be talking about this abortion ban, wherever you stand with regards to abortion. We're going to be talking about that and a lot more. Of course, the Diamond K Show here on firetv.com. See you guys tomorrow.